What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Yay! I know it has been a whole year since I've last uploaded a video, but you know what? I am back and I'm back with another cooking video for you guys. All right, so today what we're gonna be making is this delicious meal you guys are looking at. This is called chicken and beef stew. So it's a mix of chicken and some beef, and I also put in some vegetables. And in Mandinka, we call this, because I'm a Mandinka girl, yes, from Gambia. In Mandinka, we call it sauce koyo. And in Wolof, we call it sauce buwe, I believe. Sama mbokki Olof yi dimbale leen ma. So bi ganaar la ak yàpp bu weex boobu laa ñëw tooga tey. So if you guys are interested in how I made this delicious meal, just keep on watching. And if you're new here, just don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell, so whenever I do upload a video, you will be the first to know. Alright guys, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so this is gonna be our first ingredient, and this is my chicken right here. I already cut it off and then I cleaned it very well with some vinegar and lemon and also some salt. Alright, the next ingredient that you're definitely gonna need if you want to prepare this meat is some meat. You are gonna need some meat. It doesn't matter what type of meat. And I'm gonna show you guys all the seasonings that I'll be using for today. And this is tuck. You can get this at the African market. And then I'm also gonna be using some lemon and pepper seasoning. And then also I'm gonna be using some pepper. And then I'm also gonna be using jimbo and garlic powder. And we are also going to be using a little bit of salt, and then we're going to be using the chicken flavor soup thing. All right, and the next thing we're going to use the Maggi, and that's the jumbo and Maggi right here. So this is my chicken. That's the first thing that I'm going to start with. I want to start with the chicken because I have to put that on the oven. So that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to season, and then I'm going to bake it at 450 degrees. Alright y'all, I am just mixing the chicken together, and you guys, I am not gonna pretend to use glove here because I definitely do not use gloves when I cook at home. Okay, this is not a restaurant, this is a home meal. If you want, you can use glove, but I prefer to use my hand. And this is the chicken right here, well seasoned. So I'm just gonna put everything on the baking pan and then just throw it in the oven. But for the meantime, the oven is being preheat at 340, and I had to adjust it a little bit to at least 450 because I want it to be a little quicker. Next thing that I'm gonna be working on is the meat. I am gonna season the meat using the same season that I use, and this is the part that I'm gonna be using to fry the meat. And then these are my onions right here. These are the stuff that I'm gonna be blending with some pepper. guys, you're just going to want to keep stirring your meat so it doesn't get burned. Just keep stirring it and then make sure the stove is not too high, because you do want the meat to be done before you add all the other ingredients. And while the meat is being cooked, I am gonna be checking the chicken, and the chicken is also doing good. It is not done yet, it's not quite done, so I'm just gonna turn it around and then put it back in the oven. Alright guys, I'm gonna be adding 2 cups of water into the meat. Make sure it is well cooked before we add the onions. I am continuing to mix this, and then I'm just gonna check to see, make sure the water is dry, like all the way dry, before you add your onions. Alright, so I just added the onions. These are my onions and the bell pepper, and then I also sliced some 2 tomatoes, and then I blend that with 7 onions, small ones though, and then also some green peppers. Alright, so now I am just gonna be adding my seasonings in there. This is a whole tablespoon of black pepper, and I'm gonna be using 1 pack of tack. So now that the chicken is well cooked, I am just gonna use a frying pan and then just add some oil, and then we're gonna fry the chicken, and then we are also gonna be frying some potatoes with it. And also, do not forget about your meat. You have to continue to stir it because you do not want the bottom to stick. So just keep stirring it until the water is dry. When the water is dry, you will know. And I am gonna be adding some baby carrots. I love carrots, especially the small ones. I love it. I always chew it like that. Yeah, I'm gonna put that whole thing inside the pot and then just let it cook. Alright, so now I'm just gonna check my meat and then make sure the water is dry. Make sure the onions are well fried before we put anything else. Alright, so we still need to let it cook some more. The water is not dry. Now that the meat is well cooked and then also the onions are fried enough, I am only gonna add a little bit of water, just a little bit of water. Right, so I'm just gonna show you guys how I get to check if there is still some water inside my stew or no, because you do not want to have any water in it. If you do, whenever you're eating, you can see a little water will be on your bottom of your rice, so you don't want that. So I tend to just check it to make sure there is no water before I turn the stove off. Alright guys, so I'm gonna show you the simplest way you can check to make sure there is no water inside your stew, because you do not want to have any water in there. If you do, whenever you eat your rice, you're gonna have water sitting right at the bottom of the rice. So just make sure you check it. You can see there is only oil that I'm seeing, so if you're seeing any water, just let it cook some more. But this one right here is done. This is done and it's ready to be served. See right here, this is what I'm talking about.